late afternoon into the evening, we'll track storms capable of producing some localized flooding. We'll show you where coming up.
Jordan Lake drowning. A 19-year-old went under the water while fishing and did not resurface. The warning from the Chatham County Sheriff's Office after the third death on the lake in a week.
And funding education, what we expect to learn today about plans to secure federal dollars for your child's school as funds are being frozen across the country. One of many stories we will get to for you on your Monday morning. Thanks for joining us here on your WRAL Weather Alert Day. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
I'm Chris Levingood. Reasonably, people hear us say it's a WRAL Weather Alert Day. They think about the rain and the flooding from last week. And so, Chris, they're wondering, is there a good chance for that again today?
And, it's not going to be as high of a risk as it was maybe last Wednesday, right? But as we go into the evening today, there's at least the chance for localized flooding west of I-95. A lot of that has to do with, obviously, the fact that some of us are very waterlogged. The other part has to do with slow-moving scattered storms. That's why NOAA's Weather Prediction Center has issued that map. I went through and looked at some data, and this is how much rain it would take in 1 hour for us to flood. And it just went away. Let's bring that back. 1 to 2 inches in our western counties, 2 to 3 inches in our eastern counties. It just goes to show you how susceptible we are to additional rain. It'll be pretty hit and miss through the afternoon, and then as we go near and after supper time, we see a slight increase in the coverage of rain. Most of that, again, is going to be west of Interstate 95. The heat, that's widespread. You expect it to be, right? It's the middle of July. Temperatures peaking between 89 and 94. Roxborough at 89. Areas like Rocky Mount and Wilson at 92. And then the humidity, you factor that in. The heat index probably going to be about 100 to 104. Tomorrow comes down ever so slightly, but storm chances remain. We'll help you plan around them coming up.
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, a couple of incidents we want to bring your attention to this morning. First off, this crash out here, New Bern Avenue at Rogers Lane. This is right near the Sheetz Shopping Center there at Rogers Lane in New Bern. Right now, we're not seeing any delays in the area. It just happened just a few minutes ago, but just keep that in mind if New Bern Avenue is part of your morning commute. This crash on I-40 westbound Rock Quarry Road likely already cleared, but the icon is still there. Still seeing some lingering delays stretching all the way back to the I-40, I-440 interchange, even down toward the Garner area. This is a live look at I-40 at Jones Sausage Road. These are the westbound lanes coming in to us this morning, moving at a albeit slow, steady clip, but at least things are moving along nicely. We are seeing a little bit of a slowdown in congestion building in I-87. Those southbound lanes coming in right there at Smithfield Road. But once you get past the Smithfield Road exit, it's clear sailing all the way into the capital city. Now, let's look at those drive times for you. In terms of coming into the capital city, you're looking at a 3-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest and just a 3-minute delay if you're coming in from Nightdale. So things are getting better there on I-87. Right now, very little to no delays heading into the Bull City. We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown on I-885, but you're looking at maybe a 3 to 5 minute delay. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Yeah, he'll update you on your traffic report along the way. Thanks, Ken. Just before midnight, the Chatham County Sheriff's Office confirmed it recovered the body of a 19-year-old who drowned, and that happened on Jordan Lake. WRAL's Ali Kadlabar explains how high water levels and debris are making conditions dangerous on the lake.
Yes, this is the third drowning here at Jordan Lake in just a week. And the sheriff is asking people to stay out of the water. Jordan Lake is still flooded a week after Chantal swept through. It's 13 feet above normal. Robertson says the high water level causes strong currents. There's also debris and bacteria. Last night's drowning is the third at the lake in a week. He says a 19-year-old man was swimming with friends. His flotation device drifted away. He went to get it and went under. Crews found his body around 11 p.m. And last week, we told you about 2 missing boaters on Jordan Lake. Crews found their bodies after days of searching. It continues to be very dangerous here on Jordan Lake. Again, Sheriff Robertson asking people to stay out of the water. We are working to find out when these lake levels will improve, as well as the identity of the man who drowned. Reporting in Chatham County, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Raleigh police are searching for a shooter. A person was shot on Atlantic Avenue around 10:30 last night, and that happened near the intersection with New Hope Road. Police say the person who was shot was taken to the hospital, and they are expected to recover. Investigators say even though no one has been arrested, the public is not in danger from this.
Happening today, the North Carolina Attorney General is set to make an announcement about what is being done to combat education funding cuts at the federal level. WRAL's Sean Gallagher explains just how much money North Carolina is losing and what we can expect from today's announcement.
Attorney General Jeff Jackson and State Superintendent of Public Instruction Mo Green will meet at this building here behind me to talk about exactly what's emblazoned on the side, education. They will share more about the state's efforts to save some $169 million in federal funding expected to be withheld by the Trump administration, funding that nearly all public and charter schools in the state benefit from. The 6 grant funding programs in question help support teacher training, before and after school education programs in low-performing schools, and enrichment programs, plus several programs for immigrant students, including English language education, family support, and special education services for migrant students. Just last week, Wake County Schools implemented its second 90-day hiring freeze for district office positions and any vacant positions funded by federal grants that have been paused by the Trump administration. The district made this announcement after it expected not to receive more than $8 million in federal funding grants. Now, Jackson and Green will be joined here by other education leaders from across the state. That announcement expected at around 1:30 this afternoon. In downtown Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
And today, Governor Josh Stein will be in Asheville as part of his effort to boost tourism 10 months after Helene. Stein will be at Asheville Regional Airport this afternoon as part of the Rediscover the Unforgettable Tourism Initiative. The governor and First Lady Anna Stein plan to spend the week exploring the mountains of western North Carolina, and they say they will be supporting small businesses and showcasing all that the region has to offer to travelers.
Rocky Mount police are investigating 3 separate weekend shootings, and one of those shootings killed 2 young people. Loved ones gathered at Martin Luther King Park last night to remember them. Rio Steele and Lauren Dickens died in a shooting on Virginia Street around 3 o'clock yesterday morning. Steele's parents say that he graduated high school just last year, and he was studying to become an electrician.
There's never been a conversation like, son, I'm gonna have to bury you, ever. It's, son, keep doing what you're doing, because one day you're going to have to take this here. You're going to be in charge. And I need you to be at the best you can be. And he was doing it.
Rocky Mount police are also investigating a Saturday night shooting on Ring Road. That's where a bullet grazed a man. And then another shooting early yesterday morning on West Raleigh Boulevard left a man with a gunshot wound. But police have not released any information about possible suspects.
People in Orange County are getting a clearer picture of the extent of the damage left behind by Chantal's flooding 1 week ago. County officials say the loss for residential homes is estimated to be more than $9 million. Public damages are estimated at over $22 million. Volunteers across Orange County are stepping up to help. Kyle Wilkerson runs a catering company, and he spent the weekend feeding people who don't have power or water.
We're going to stay here and give it all out and feed everybody, as many people as we can.
And evacuation orders near Lake Michael Dam in Mebane have been lifted. The city remains under a water conservation plan while the water treatment plant undergoes repairs. Mayor Ed Hooks says parts of the facility have returned to full power. Orange County officials say 123 residential properties were damaged during that storm. And remember, we want to see conditions where you are amid storms and high waters. When it's safe to do so, take pictures and video and send it to us at WRAL.com/report it. You can upload what you see there, and we will share your pictures and video on TV and online.
1 person is dead and 5 others are recovering this morning from a shooting in uptown Charlotte. And that happened early yesterday morning. That's actually the second shooting in the same area in just 2 days. Charlotte-Mecklenburg police have not released the names of the victims or the conditions of the people who were injured. So far, no arrests have been made.
A family is asking for help to get the body of a local law student back to his home country. Souley Bangura was killed while riding his motorcycle along Creedmoor Road in Wake County Tuesday night. The Sierra Leone native was a law student at North Carolina Central University. He was also an intern at the North Carolina Administrative Office of the Courts. Bangura was in his last semester of law school and getting ready to graduate. His friends and coworkers tell WRAL they are devastated by his loss.
I can't fathom what I've been told the past few days, that someone like him could be taken away from us, because he had so much He had so much so much to give to us in this world.
He made this place greater just by being here, even if it was just for 26 years. So to have that impact and to lose it's a loss. I just felt a huge loss.
Benger's family has set up a GoFundMe page to help raise money to send him to be laid to rest in his home country. The Highway Patrol has not said how that crash happened.
The time is 8:10. Nicotine poisoning. A new study illustrates the rising number of cases in children. Parents, we're going to explain what doctors say you should know to fight this trend.
And closed indefinitely, a North Hills restaurant is shutting its doors for the time being after a car crashed right through the building. The charges that police say the driver is facing.
And throughout the next few days, we're going to track this scattering of showers and storms. I'll show you where we see the chance for localized flooding heading into this evening. Coming up. 8:13, looking ahead to late afternoon this evening when we see additional scattered storms, some of which are slow moving. That creates the chance for localized flooding, especially as you go west of I-95. That's what you see highlighted in the yellow. And if your travels take you out toward the Triad, they've been dealing with a lot of the same issues that parts of our area have been dealing with over the last 7 to 10 days. Tomorrow, the flood risk is a little lower. By Wednesday, the Weather Prediction Center doesn't have us in any really organized risk. This morning, no risk of flooding out there. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Morrisville and Durham at 77. Chapel Hill, Apex, Holly Springs, Garner, Knightdale, Zebulon, and Wake Forest all checking in at 74 degrees. And as you check in with the forecast on the WRAL weather app, keep doing that heading into the afternoon. It'll let you know when rain or lightning is within 15 miles, so long as you have your notifications turned on. Ken?
Hey, Chris, quick check on the morning commute. A couple of new incidents to report that we want to bring your attention to. First of all, in the downtown area, if you're heading into the downtown area, maybe you're coming in from Garner using South Saunders, you're looking at a major slowdown once you get to McDowell. As a result of this crash in the northbound lane near Edenton Street, I would recommend another downtown route just to be on the safe side to get around it because we're seeing a huge slowdown there on McDowell. Down in the Garner area, Timber Drive, eastbound near White Oak Grove, this near the shopping centers. We're not seeing any of the delays in the area, but just be mindful of the police working that crash scene. We're seeing the usual slowdown that we're seeing on I-87 coming in from Knightdale this morning. You're probably looking at a 3 to 5 minute delay.
All right, thank you, Ken. Today, crews in Texas will resume their search for victims of the catastrophic flooding on July 4th. Heavy rains temporarily paused search and rescue operations. At least 132 people are dead. Authorities believe more than 160 people may still be missing in Kerr County alone.
President Donald Trump says that he supports Attorney General Pam Bondi's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. His support comes as some people in his circle demand she be fired. There has been talk for years that Epstein had a client list, and it's said to have names of some well-known celebrities and politicians. In fact, Elon Musk previously said on X that the president was in the so-called Epstein files, but that post was later deleted. Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel now say there was no client list. They also say Epstein killed himself in his New York jail cell in 2019.
Get ready to pay higher prices for foods made from tomatoes. Today, a 21% tariff on most Mexican tomato imports goes into effect, and that could mean high prices at restaurants, pizza parlors, and grocery stores. Some restaurant owners say they fear this could put their business in jeopardy. Many U.S. growers say it's time for the tariffs to boost local businesses.
An urgent warning for parents this morning. The American Academy of Pediatrics reports an increase of cases of nicotine poisoning in kids under the age of 6. We're talking about an increase of 763% in 3 years. Nicotine increases heart rate and blood pressure and could lead to nausea, vomiting, or even a coma. It could easily exceed a daily dose in small children. And so the American Academy of Pediatrics says it is critical all nicotine products are locked away when you have children. Parents are also encouraged to talk with your teenagers about using the products and make sure they know the risks. You also want to add the National Poison Control number to your phone right now if you can. We want to keep it up on screen so you have a long enough time to put it in your phone. This way, if it's in your phone, you're not in a rush to find it when you need it. That number is 1-800-222-1222.
You might have followed along with us on the upgraded WRAL weather app yesterday, and if you did, you might have seen a ring around the storms on the radar. Meteorologist Chris Michaels shows us how that ring kills old storms and actually creates new ones in today's Ask the Meteorologist.
Yeah, so this was kind of a textbook example of something that's called outflow, and this is how the storms breathe, right? So they breathe out, they unleash this area of cool air, and that kind of chokes off the storms within the ring. So you see these storms like raining themselves out, but then that same ring, that same outflow serves as a boundary for future storms to develop. So I saved off some of the radar imagery from yesterday because it was like something out of a textbook. There you see the storms at 1:40 in the afternoon, and there you see that ring, and that's the storms kicking up things like dirt and dust and even bugs. So that's 1:40. Now here's 2:40, and you see the storms within that ring pretty much gone, whereas others have started to develop on the very outer edge. And as I put that into a loop, you can just kind of see all that at play. I was nerding out over it yesterday. I thought you guys might find it pretty interesting as well, and this is something we may see with more scattered storms as we go throughout the rest of the week.
Fascinating. I'm glad you showed that to us, Chris. Thank you. A woman accused of crashing into a North Hills restaurant while impaired is out on bail this morning. The owners of Cucciolo Terrazza on Six Forks Road say the restaurant is closed until further notice because of that crash on Friday. The outdoor patio and the back window, well, they were damaged. And 55-year-old Leanne Ligon of Raleigh, she is charged with DWI in connection to the crash. Her next court date is scheduled for August 1st. And then another crash into a business from over the weekend happened in Raleigh, too. That happened at LA Carniceria, at New Hope Church Road and Atlantic Avenue early Saturday morning. The owner says the crash cracked the windows on the storefront and damaged their refrigerated section. The store will be open for business, just so you know, and no one was injured in the crash.
North Carolina Democrats are just one seat short of breaking the veto-proof majority held by Republicans in the state Senate. If they can pick up a seat in 2026, they'll give Democratic Governor Josh Stein more say over legislative debates. Democrats think they know exactly where to focus a Rocky Mount area seat held by Republican Senator Lisa Stone Barnes. Her seat covers Nash, Franklin, and Vance counties, and James Gaillard is mounting a political comeback against Barnes. The pastor and former lawmaker sat down with WRAL when he announced his campaign.
My message to voters is that let's take a look around, and the reality of it is we're not better off than we were. Very few people are, but we can change that.
And Barnes was not available for an interview, but a Republican insider tells WRAL that the party is confident in her chances to hold the seat. You can read our in-depth analysis of this key race and about other seats to watch at the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com. All right, let's turn to some weather now here in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Another WRAL weather alert day because of what's going to happen later on today.
And I think a lot of it is just kind of cumulative, right? We've had a lot of these alert days because of how waterlogged the ground is. And with additional scattered storms, you can't rule out that chance for localized flooding, especially west of I-95. This risk right here is not as high as it was maybe last Wednesday, but still something worth monitoring. The right-hand side of your screen, that's your risk for localized wind damage, which is a little more limited west of US 1. So let's start things out at 11 o'clock this morning. Not much going on, but as air masses collide over us, you get these scattered storms that develop, much like we saw yesterday afternoon. As we go deeper into the evening, you see more storms coming in from the west. I'll step out of the way so that you can kind of see that. This is 8 p.m. and those showers and storms coming in from the Piedmont and the Triad. And then as we continue to see rising air with all that mugginess we feel out there, we're going to hold on to the chance for at least some hit or miss showers and storms heading into the overnight hours, and these don't move very much, so I can't rule out some flood advisories during that time frame being issued by the National Weather Service. Meanwhile, off toward the tropics, 30% chance of development along the Gulf Coast. I just got the latest update from the National Hurricane Center within the last hour. They've held it at 30% for the time being. I'm not expecting direct impact from that, and the reason for that is high pressure offshore is nudging it. You see that clockwise flow nudging it a little bit to the west. And then you've got some upper level wind that's really too far north to grab it and push it in our direction. So no direct impact from that. Plenty of sunshine and some haze as we look over the Wake and Johnston County border there from our tall tower camera. And ahead of any kind of showers and storms today, it'll be hot and humid. That's mid-July for you, right? So if you're taking the dog for a walk, if you can, maybe keep them on the grass as opposed to the pavement and the concrete, just because it is going to be quite toasty out there, especially on their bare paws. Tomorrow and Wednesday, as we look at the 7-day forecast, we'll be at about 85 to 90 degrees with the renewed chance for showers and storms. That chance goes down ever so slightly heading into the weekend as temperatures come up. Highs in the mid-90s. Ken?
All right, Chris, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Major issues on I-40 eastbound around Aviation Parkway. You can see 1, 2, 3 inner lanes blocked. As a result of that crash right there, you can see just the outer lanes and the inner lanes just getting through. So it's causing a huge delay in that area coming around Aviation Parkway. So keep that in mind if you're coming into the capital city this morning. Here's where I'm talking about the delay that right there that's causing a lot of backup this morning as a result of that crash. A couple of other instances we want to bring your attention to. This one, if you're heading into the downtown area on South Saunders, well, you're looking at a major slowdown on McDowell. So because of that crash right there at Edenton Street. So I would recommend taking an alternate route into the downtown area just to be on the safe side, because that's a serious slowdown that we're seeing. Down on Garner, we're seeing Timber Drive in the eastbound lane at White Oak Road. This is near the shopping centers. We're not seeing any delays in that particular area.
All right, thank you, Ken. We'll have more news and weather coming up next.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. We have to get right over to Ken Smith because there's some pretty big backups on I-40 and Wade Avenue, Ken.
Yeah, I-40 eastbound we're talking about. This is between Wade Avenue and Aviation Parkway. You see the inner 3 lanes blocked right now. Just the outer lane and the inner lanes getting through as a result of that crash. It's causing quite a bit of delay. And here's what we're looking at. You're looking at almost 25 minutes if you're coming in from Chapel Hill using I-40 eastbound. So keep that in mind as you're about to head out.
Wow, Ken, thank you very much. Meanwhile, out the door this morning in Franklin County, seeing at least some improvement in the fog situation that we had in Lewisburg. Temperatures, meanwhile, mid to upper 70s. Shower and storm chances pretty hit and miss throughout the afternoon. Slightly better chance this evening, and there is the chance for some localized flooding. Any other severe weather threats look to be pretty low, but we're timing that out with Futurecast over on Fox 50 starting in 3 minutes.
All right, thank you, Chris. Just before midnight, we learned a 19-year-old man drowned in Jordan Lake. Chatham County Sheriff Mike Robertson says it happened near Farrington Road and Martha's Chapel Road. Rescue crews were called to the area at about 7:30 last night. And Raleigh police are looking for the suspect that shot a person on Atlantic Avenue at about 10:30 last night. It happened near the intersection at New Hope Church Road. The victim was taken to the hospital and is expected to recover. Police say even though no arrest has been made, there is no ongoing threat. Coming up next on Fox 50, what we expect to learn today about federal education funding. And up next on Today, Xana Roberts-Rassi has tips on how to waterproof your summer makeup.
And today's WRAL Weather Alert Day is due to the chance for localized flash flooding, especially as we head into the evening. We'll show you what that looks like and how it compares to last week coming up.
Drowning danger. New this morning, a 19-year-old died while swimming in Jordan Lake. The warnings from Chatham County Sheriff about high water and debris.
And remembering the Buchanans, today a funeral service will be held for the Lee County farming family killed in a plane crash. How you can pay your respects this morning.
Plus, the fight for federal funds. The major announcement expected today from state leaders and from justice leaders on securing frozen Trump administration money for your child's school. A lot of stories that we didn't get to this morning. This Monday WRAL Weather Alert Day. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, with all of that in mind, let's get over to meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center to walk us through what we can expect today.
And it really looks like late afternoon into the evening that we see the chance for some flash flooding. The localized wind damage threat is the lower end of what we would consider a hazard for today. As far as the flood threat, it's mostly west of I-95. In the yellow, that's where it's more localized just because of the fact that it's waterlogged in some of our western counties like Moore, Chatham, Person, Orange, even Wake counties now. In terms of rain chances for today, they're pretty hit and miss during the afternoon. Slightly better coverage in showers and storms as we head into the evening. And again, most of that would be west of Interstate 95. Now, in terms of chances for tropical development, those have remained the same this morning at about 30% along the Gulf Coast. That's going to stay down that way. It's not going to get dragged up the East Coast. It's just going to sort of meander down there. Right now, pardon me, plenty of sunshine in Apex. Temperature in the mid to upper 70s. We make it into the low to mid 90s, so there's enough dry time for that. The heat index climbing to about 100 to 104. I'll show you if there's any break in that. We'll show you what the storms may look like as they develop with Futurecast.
Hey, Chris, we got some major congestion on I-40 eastbound between Wade Avenue this morning, stretching all the way back to Aviation Parkway as a result of a crash in that area of Wade Avenue. This is what it looks like. Courtesy of our live cam network, you see 3 inner lanes are blocked, and just the outer lanes and the inner lanes are getting through this morning. So it's causing a huge backup, as we just showed you, courtesy of our live cam network. So here's what you're looking to like in terms of coming in to the capital city from on I-40 eastbound. You're looking at a 37 to 40-minute delay coming in from Chapel Hill this morning. So I would recommend alternate routes, maybe Highway 70 as an alternate route coming into the capital city. You're just looking at a 4-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest this morning. Over in Durham, similarly, very little to no delays heading into the Bull City. I do want to isolate I-885 just a bit because I'm seeing a little bit of a slowdown there. If you're going into Durham this morning, you're looking maybe at a 4-minute delay. If you're using I-885 to get to I-40 this morning, you're looking at a 7-minute delay. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Investigators say a 19-year-old man drowned at Jordan Lake. Chatham County Sheriff Mike Robertson says that this happened near Farrington Road and Martha's Chapel Road. First responders were called there around 7:30 last night, and this morning, WRAL's Ali Kadabar went back to Jordan Lake as Sheriff Robertson warns people to avoid swimming in that area.
Yes, this is the 3rd drowning here at Jordan Lake in just a week. And the sheriff is asking people to stay out of the water. Jordan Lake is still flooded a week after Chantal swept through. It's 13 feet above normal. Robertson says the high water level causes strong currents. There's also debris and bacteria. Last night's drowning is the 3rd at the lake in a week. He says a 19-year-old man was swimming with friends. His flotation device drifted away. He went to get it and went under. Crews found his body around 11 p.m. And last week, we told you about 2 missing boaters on Jordan Lake. Crews found their bodies after days of searching. It continues to be very dangerous here on Jordan Lake. Again, Sheriff Robertson asking people to stay out of the water. We are working to find out when these lake levels will improve, as well as the identity of the man who drowned. Reporting in Chatham County, Ali Kadabar, WRAL News.
And just a reminder, we want to see conditions where you are as severe weather pushes through and even seeing high waters. You can take pictures and video when it's safe to do so. I can't stress that enough. And then you can send what you shoot at WRAL.com/reported. You can upload what you see there, and then we will share your pictures and your video on TV and online.
Jeff Hogan in the WRAL Live Center. An unspeakable tragedy. That's how the mayor of Fall River, Massachusetts, as well as the fire chief, described what happened at an assisted living facility last night in southern Massachusetts. This is very close, just east of Providence, Rhode Island, across the state line there. This assisted living facility caught on fire overnight. 9 people were killed. 1 person is in critical condition. There were more than 30 people taken to area hospitals in various conditions, and a dozen people were rescued over their ladders. He said all 5 firefighters that were injured during this fire have been released from the hospital. They're going to be okay. just sending thoughts and prayers out with those families of the victims. And this happened in one wing of that assisted living facility. He was speaking at that news conference right there and wrapped things up just by saying that there were fire detectors, smoke detectors in the building. The smoke got everywhere in there. They aren't sure yet if they were working.
It's just a terrible tragedy. All right, thank you, Jeff. One man was taken to the hospital after a shooting on Atlantic Avenue. This was the scene captured by the WRAL breaking news tracker at 10:30 last night. Raleigh police say the man who was shot is expected to recover. No arrests have been made at this time. We are working to learn more about what led up to this shooting.
Happening today, the North Carolina Attorney General is set to make an announcement about what's being done to combat education funding cuts at the federal level. WRAL's Sean Gallagher explains just how much money North Carolina is losing and what we can expect from today's announcement.
Attorney General Jeff Jackson and State Superintendent of Public Instruction Mo Green will meet at this building here behind me to talk about exactly what's emblazoned on the side, education. They will share more about the state's efforts to save some $169 million in federal funding expected to be withheld by the Trump administration, funding that nearly all public and charter schools in the state benefit from. The 6 grant funding programs in question help support teacher training, before and after school education programs in low-performing schools, and enrichment programs, plus several programs for immigrant students, including English language education, family support, and special education services for migrant students. Just last week, Wake County Schools implemented its second 90-day hiring freeze for district office positions and any vacant positions funded by federal grants that have been paused by the Trump administration. The district made this announcement after it expected not to receive more than $8 million in federal funding grants. Now, Jackson and Green will be joined here by other education leaders from across the state. That announcement expected at around 1:30 this afternoon. In downtown Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
Rocky Mount police are investigating 3 separate weekend shootings. One of those shootings killed 2 young people, and people gathered at Martin Luther King Park last night to remember them. Ryo Steele and Loren Dickens died in a shooting on Virginia Street at about 3 Sunday morning. Steele's parents say he graduated high school last year. He was studying to be an electrician. They say they are devastated by the violence in their community.
Escaping that. I didn't know I was putting my son right back in harm's way. I'm from Durham. I came here, bringing them here to go to school, grow up.
And Rocky Mount police are also investigating a Saturday night shooting on Ring Road where a man was grazed by a bullet. Another shooting early Sunday morning on West Raleigh Boulevard left a man with a gunshot wound. Police have not released information about any possible suspects.
This morning, police are searching for a truck they say was at the center of a drive-by shooting. And that shooting happened around 1:15 yesterday afternoon near Harris Park in Creedmoor. Officers say a man was shot at multiple times, and at last check, he's alive in the hospital. Police are looking for this 4-door truck with black rims, dark tinted windows, and damage to the tailgate. The North Carolina license plate reads KEK 3112. You can call Creedmoor Police or Granville County Crime Stoppers if you know anything about this case.
This morning, funeral services will be held for a Lee County family who died in a plane crash 1 week ago today. The community is invited to show their respects during a procession from the Bridges Cameron Funeral Home to Shallowwell Church at 9 a.m. That's in about 20 minutes. A closed service for the Buchanan family will be held at the church starting at 10 o'clock this morning, and there will be a live stream on Facebook. A memorial of flowers and candles was built at the Sanford Farmers Market over the weekend, and fellow farmers remember the Buchanan's presence there each week.
It's a major loss. They had a big impact. As I said, like they did festivals, they had food trucks here. Everybody liked to gather here for many different holidays, events, festivals. It really brought families together.
The NTSB says the plane reported engine and communication issues before crashing a mile from the Raleigh Executive Jetport. The family was flying home from Florida. Today, Governor Josh Stein will be in Asheville as part of his efforts to boost tourism 10 months after Helene. The governor will be at Asheville Regional Airport this afternoon as part of the Rediscover the Unforgettable Tourism Initiative. The governor and First Lady Anna Stein plan to spend the week exploring the mountains of western North Carolina, and they say they will be supporting small businesses and showcasing all that the region has to offer to travelers.
Your time is 8:40. Severe leg injury. An Apex man will never walk the same way again after stepping on a utility box in his yard. Ahead, 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shares his story and how that could help hold companies accountable.
Plus, churchgoers shot. A gunman opens fire on a Kentucky state trooper before turning his sights on a church. What we know about the conditions of the survivors this morning.
And folks, today is a WRAL weather alert day as we're giving you a live look at Roxborough. It's looking pretty nice as you're waking up this Monday morning. Things could change though, which is why meteorologist Chris Michaels will let us know where localized flooding is possible tonight.
8:44 on your Monday morning. The rest of the commute is looking dry out there. Very hot and humid again this afternoon. Mainly some late day and evening storms, and those could lead to some localized flooding, especially in the western half of our viewing area. This morning, here we are, 77 degrees, a calm wind over the legislative building, plenty of sunshine mixed in with a little bit of haze. If you're already thinking about the lunch break, I'm not judging you. I've been thinking about that since 2 this morning. Here's your food truck forecast. Temperatures upper 80s by midday. We'll make it into the low to mid 90s this afternoon. Of course, it's not a dry heat. The heat index is going to be higher than that. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water and electrolytes if you're going to be working outside. Then some storms fire up. We'll show you how that happens, where it happens, and when the flood risk goes down. Ken?
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, man, a huge congestion between Wade Avenue and Aviation Parkway as a result of a crash in that area. Let's show you exactly what we're talking about here. We've got 3 inner lanes just reopened in the last seconds or so that traffic is beginning to flow along nicely, but still seeing some lingering delays. I'll have more coming up in less than 5 minutes.
Police in Kentucky say a gunman is dead after he shot a state trooper and then killed 2 women at a nearby church. Investigators say the man shot the trooper near the Bluegrass Airport yesterday morning, and then he just left the area. He showed up at Richmond Road Baptist Church about 16 miles from the airport a short time later, and authorities say 2 women at the church were killed. 2 men were wounded, and one of them is in critical condition at last check. Police shot and killed the gunman, and the trooper is undergoing treatment for his injuries.
The Wilson Police Department is mourning the loss of one of its police canines. They say Canine Ozzy died yesterday. They did not reveal how he died. They are asking you to keep Canine Ozzy's handler, Senior Police Officer H. Heath, and her family in your thoughts and prayers during this difficult time.
An Apex man suffered a severe leg injury when he says he stepped on an in-ground utility box. And he says many others are in danger of the same thing happening to them. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur explains why.
These boxes are also known as handholds, and once you start looking for them, you are going to notice them everywhere, maybe even your yard. Matthew Privet didn't even know there was one in his yard until his accident in November of 2023. He stepped on it while doing yard work. His foot went through the cover, and he suffered a gruesome injury to his ankle. Privet says it was so bad, he almost lost his foot.
I had totally mentally had prepared.
For what?
That I was no longer going to have a left foot. She was like, he saved your foot. They have saved your foot. And that was such a blessing. That was such a blessing.
Since the accident, Privet has had 3 surgeries to repair the damage, but he says he'll never be able to walk like he did before the accident. And coming up tonight on WRAL News at 6, we're going to speak with Matthew Moore and hear what he says he wants utility companies to do to keep these boxes safe. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
President Trump and the First Lady make history with an upcoming visit to Windsor Castle. Their visit is scheduled for September 17th to the 19th. That's according to a statement from the palace. It'll make Trump the first elected political leader in modern times to be hosted for 2 state visits by a British monarch. President Trump was first welcomed to the UK by Queen Elizabeth in June of 2019. The North Carolina Zoo is introducing everyone to its newest baby animal.
And that is the topic of today's What's Trending.
Well, there's a new baby at the North Carolina Zoo, but it's not one of the zoo's usual residents. 2 white deer live on the zoo's property in Asheboro, and now there's a white fawn as well. Look at the baby. Staff spotted the white fawn throughout the past several weeks. And the zoo wants to remind everyone the deer are native inhabitants, not a human-made habitat designed for public viewing.
Yeah, they say catching a glimpse of this baby is unlikely because of typical business hours. But if you do encounter it, observe from a distance. I know it seems like you want to put everything on social media, but maybe we respect nature for the sake of nature.
So
How about
cute,
that?
though. Adorable.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to go over right now to movies and music and streaming news happening?
Yeah, beginning with a look at the life of a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer.
Yeah, actor David Superman Corenswet talks about his new role as Clark Kent. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
We just wanted to make as much noise as possible. I didn't know one person who liked what we were doing. I loved it.
The official trailer is out for Billy Joel and So It Goes. The first half of the Piano Man documentary debuts Friday on HBO Max, with the second half premiering the following Friday.
Which one's the least expensive? That one, but you get what you pay for. True.
There's more in store for Murderbot fans. Apple TV Plus has renewed the comedic thriller for a second season. Alexander Skarsgård stars in the show as the title self-hacking security robot.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Superman star David Corenswet says he enjoyed playing Clark Kent more than the Man of Steel.
The cape helps, but still, it was a nerve-wracking experience walking out for the first time for all to see. With Clark, it's a lot more fun because you're sort of hidden in the clothes and the glasses hide your face, the hair's in front of the face. You feel a bit more incognito, which is appropriate. And so also, I think you have permission to have a little more fun.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
It's a good movie. Saw it over the weekend with Mike Mays. All right. So the big thing we're looking at today is the WRAL weather alert day. Obviously, we had rain, we had flooding last week. Very real risk for today, too.
Yeah, and it's localized west of I-95 just because when you have those scattered storms moving over that wet soil, you get that chance for some additional flooding. That's what you see highlighted in the yellow here, and that's from NOAA's Weather Prediction Center. So we use that as kind of a basis for whether or not we issue alert days. And when it gets to that medium level, that's one of those things that kind of goes off in our head. So here's 11 o'clock this morning, and we're mostly dry. But what I want to show you is kind of the disturbances at play. So you have one coming in from the coast and a front to the west. So the air gets squeezed in between the two. This afternoon, showers and storms are relatively hit and miss, whereas they're a little more numerous as you get towards some of the higher terrain. That line, or that broken line, is what pushes in from west to east as we head deeper into the evening. So I've been mentioning around and after supper time, and there you see it moving west to east, even into some of the overnight hours. By 2 a.m., we still have showers and storms around. As we get closer to the morning commute tomorrow, I still can't rule out a stray shower because that moisture is being squeezed a little bit, but it doesn't look like it would be quite as numerous as what we see heading into the evening and even into some of the nighttime hours. Now, the next few days, we're going to continue to see that really muggy air that's coming in from the Atlantic and from the Gulf. Any little piece of energy that tries to tap into that will give us the daily chance for some showers and storms. That'll be pretty scattered. Now, I mentioned the Gulf. Let's head down that way. You have a 30% chance of development near the Gulf Coast. So there's Florida, there's Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. I'm not expecting direct impact from it because the upper level wind is very calm. So there's nothing over the United States that's going to take it, grab it, and push it in our direction. It's just going to meander down that way and be a big rain producer for them. Now, it sends some moisture our way. That's why it feels very muggy outside right now, and it will continue to do so as we go throughout the day. So if you've lived in North Carolina long enough, you know that it's very rarely a dry heat. So the air temperature is what you see in the brighter red. The heat index is what you see in the darker red because you have to factor that in when there's humidity involved. So high temperatures stay in the low to mid 90s, but it feels like the lower triple digits. So just make sure that you're taking things easy out there over the course of the next few days because it's not really something that slows down. In fact, I really don't see a significant drop in humidity anytime soon. So therefore, scattered shower and storm chances are going to dot the landscape on the 7-day forecast. Maybe fewer storms and more heat, however, as we head into the weekend.
All right, thank you for the forecast, Chris. And hey, before we go to break, we do want to give you a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers, and we'll get you an update on traffic in just a bit.